Summary of Wedding Album. Wedding Album by Girish Karnad explores the complex dynamics of a middle-class Saraswat Brahmin family in urban India, focusing on the tensions between tradition and modernity in the context of arranged marriages. The play centers on Vijula, a young woman about to marry Ashwin, an NRI groom living in America. Their marriage is arranged by the elders of the family, and Vijula has only interacted with Ashwin through digital means, emails and video chats. This digital interaction highlights the disconnection between their true selves and the roles they are expected to play in their marriage. Vijula's character is portrayed as deeply conflicted. She leads a double life, engaging in cyber sex under a false identity at a local internet cafe, while publicly conforming to traditional expectations. Her interactions are marked by a stark contrast between her secret life and her public persona. This duality is further emphasized through her submission to societal norms and her commitment to a future with Ashwin, despite his aloofness and her personal discontent. The play also examines the broader societal pressures on women and the hypocrisy of moral policing. The orthodox attitudes of the Nadkami family highlight the overprotectiveness towards unmarried girls and the moral double standards prevalent in society. The play critiques how these norms often lead women to seek illicit experiences in secret, while the same moral guardians who condemn such behavior turn a blind eye when it involves individuals from their own community. Karnad uses the setting of the Nadkami household to explore themes of control and class dynamics. The kitchen, a traditional space for women, becomes a battleground for power and frustration, reflecting Mrs. Nadkami's own struggles and sense of inadequacy. This domestic setting serves as a metaphor for the public and private conflicts within the family. The narrative also delves into the generation gap and differing attitudes between modern, pragmatic individuals and those bound by traditional values. Ashwin's desire for a simple, no-frills wedding contrasts with Mrs. Nadkami's insistence on traditional rituals, highlighting the clash between contemporary and traditional views on marriage. In the latter part of the play, Karnad employs a photographic technique to depict the characters' dual lives, public respectability versus hidden realities. This technique underscores the theme of facade versus authenticity, revealing the internal and external conflicts faced by the characters. Wedding Album ultimately serves as a critique of the traditional Indian marriage system, emphasizing the ongoing struggle between modernity and tradition. Karnad's portrayal of the Nadkami family underscores the universal concerns and dramas surrounding marriage, suggesting that despite societal progress, the core issues within the institution of marriage remain largely unchanged. The play concludes with a poignant reflection on the fate of grown-up daughters, encapsulating the play's central theme of the enduring complexities of the great Indian marriage. Girish Karnad, a multifaceted personality, has garnered international acclaim as a dramatist, actor, director, critic, translator, and cultural administrator. Undoubtedly, he stands among India's most esteemed dramatists and creative practitioners. Karnad's contributions span various forms of art, including Kannada, Hindi, and English plays, feature films, documentaries, and television series. His works, originally penned in Kannada and later translated into multiple languages, including English, have earned him numerous national and international accolades. As he often translates his own plays into English, Karnad enjoys a unique freedom that most translators do not, allowing him to preserve the nuances of his original vision. One of Karnad's contemporary works, Wedding Album, delves into the intricacies of a traditional Indian wedding in a globalized, technologically advanced India. Reflecting on the play in an interview with Chronicle, Karnad reveals, "I've been thinking about writing Wedding Album for over 40 years now. I first thought about it when my sister got married in 1963 inches too." The central theme of the play is love, portrayed through the lens of a Hindu family coming together for a festive occasion. While the surface is one of joy and celebration, the play also uncovers the long-suppressed doubts, jealousy, anger, and violence that simmer beneath the photo-perfect facade of an Indian wedding. Wedding Album by Girish Karnad is deeply rooted in the experiences of India's urban middle class, focusing on a theme that has become the backbone of countless TV serials and commercial films: the impending, arranged, marriage of a young woman to a suitable boy. The Indian marriage, traditionally seen as an event that brings families together in unity and mutual interest, serves as the central motif of the play. However, Karnad delves beneath this idealized surface, revealing the fusion of long-buried fears and resentments within the family, which are suddenly brought to light during the wedding preparations. The play also captures the tension between different generations in a rapidly changing world. The older generation feels disoriented by the technological upheaval that has transformed their environment, while the younger generation is filled with aspirations for wealth and personal freedom, yet these ambitions are often only vaguely defined. Through this juxtaposition of hopes and anxieties, Karnad crafts a play that is both humorous and poignant, offering a deeply troubling examination of contemporary Indian society. It stands as one of the most insightful intellectual explorations in modern Indian drama. Karnad is known for his unpredictability, and Wedding Album is no exception. While many of his earlier works delve into historical narratives and the intricate layers of oral and written mythology, this play marks a striking departure. Instead of retelling the beautiful stories from Chitradurga, the darker tales from rural India, or the rich tapestry of Hindu mythology, Karnad brings his audience into the present with a jarring immediacy. He presents a vivid and surprising portrait of the urban middle class, urging us to confront the realities of our time as we move forward into new eras and generations. In Wedding Album, Karnad reinvents his storytelling approach by incorporating a new visual instrument, technology. This tool allows him to investigate the psyche of contemporary society, offering a fresh perspective on the complexities of modern life in India. Through this innovative lens, Karnad invites his audience to reflect on the evolving nature of tradition, family, and personal identity in a world where the old and the new are in constant tension. In Wedding Album, Girish Karnad skillfully employs technology to explore the dynamics of a contemporary Indian arranged marriage. The play opens with a video biodata, a modern replacement for the traditional written biodata, where Vijula Nadkami, a 22-year-old from a typical Saraswat Brahmin family, introduces herself to her prospective NRI groom, Ashwin Panjay, whom she has yet to meet in person. Her brother, Rohit, captures this moment on camera, setting the stage for a narrative that intertwines technology with the age-old traditions of marriage. As the wedding preparations unfold, Karnad introduces other members of the Nadkami family, each of whom brings their own hopes and anxieties regarding the upcoming marriage. The family is caught between excitement for Ashwin's arrival and the underlying tension of marrying off two individuals who have never met before. Through these characters, Karnad deftly explores the various facets of contemporary Indian society, particularly within the context of an arranged marriage. Vijula's conservative older sister, Hema, who has settled in Australia with her husband and children, returns to India for the wedding, bringing with her a perspective shaped by her life abroad. She is juxtaposed against their mother, who, despite her traditional background, often displays a more practical and sometimes progressive outlook. Meanwhile, Rohit, who outwardly appears to be a rebel due to his relationship with his Christian girlfriend Isabel, ultimately opts for an arranged marriage, believing it will offer better career prospects. Karnad weaves multiple threads and subplots throughout the play, using the wedding as a backdrop to explore the complexities of family dynamics, societal expectations, and the clash between tradition and modernity. Each character's reaction to Vijula's situation reveals their opinions, prejudices, and inner conflicts, allowing the audience to become intimately familiar with their personalities and struggles. This intricate tapestry of relationships and tensions highlights the broader commentary on the evolving nature of marriage and identity in a rapidly changing Indian society. Wedding Album, Karnad deftly explores the complex dynamics within the Nadkami family, juxtaposing traditional values with contemporary issues. The mother is depicted as someone who aspires to fulfill her own dreams through her daughters, while the father views marriage as a gamble. This contrast sets the stage for the play's examination of modern dilemmas. Karnad introduces various contemporary concerns through his characters. For instance, Pratibha, a television producer married to a Muslim, nonchalantly dismisses the idea of harassment, saying, "There's nothing I don't know about harassment." 3. This reflects the broader societal indifference to certain issues. The play also addresses the rise of cyberpornography and its impact on the youth, exemplified by Vijula's secret life as an anonymous cyber sex participant at a seedy neighborhood internet cafe. Her actions are quickly exposed and dismissed by the Saraswat Moral Brigade, highlighting the conflict between modern behaviors and traditional values. Vijula's character is a blend of the traditional and the contemporary, constantly shifting between conventional expectations and modern realities. Her reaction to being caught with her illicit virtual lover reveals her rebellious streak, but her subsequent submission to her NRI husband Ashwin is equally striking. She declares, "I will never divorce Ashwin. I trust him. He is my husband, after all," 4. Demonstrating her commitment to the institution of marriage despite her earlier defiance. Ashwin, the video groom, embodies the stereotype of the American NRI, a figure who enjoys the opportunities of America but feels burdened by its demands. He returns to India, as expected, to find a demure bride, and views their marriage as a mission, urging Vidula to see it as more than just a union but a significant undertaking. 5. His dual perception of America as both a land of opportunity and a burden underscores the play's exploration of the tensions between traditional values and modern aspirations. Through these characters and their interactions, Karnad opens a Pandora's box of New Age crises, challenging traditional mores and highlighting the evolving nature of relationships and societal expectations in contemporary India. Wedding Album centers on a middle-class urban Saraswat Brahmin family, distinguished by their education, liberal attitudes, and modern outlook. In Saraswat Brahmin culture, marriage holds immense significance, particularly for women, as it is considered the most crucial life cycle ritual. For men, the pressure to marry is not only a personal expectation but also a societal duty, reflecting the social responsibility to uphold community values. In the context of globalization, the traditional practices of arranged marriage have evolved. While the past saw marriages often initiated through limited interaction, today's technology, comprising emails, text messages, phone calls, videos, and scanned pictures, provides a multitude of ways for communication. Despite these advancements, the fundamental aspect remains the same. The couple enters a relationship with each other, often stepping into unfamiliar territory. In Wedding Album, the narrative focuses on a bride marrying a groom from the same community who resides in America. The arrangement is made by the elders of the family, reflecting the traditional role of family in matchmaking. The bride and groom have only met face-to-face during the prenuptial ceremonies, having previously known each other through other forms of communication. This scenario encapsulates the tension between traditional marriage practices and the modern, globalized context in which they are now situated. In Wedding Album, Girish Karnad vividly portrays the agonies and inner conflicts faced by women, particularly through the character of Vidula. Vidula's experience highlights the emotional and psychological burdens placed on women in traditional and modern contexts. Vidula, a central figure in the play, presents a facade to her future husband through email and video chats, carefully curating her image. This digital interaction allows her to craft a version of herself that she believes will be acceptable, while concealing her true self. Her discomfort and unease are evident in Scene 1, where she speaks directly to the camera. Here, Vidula is visibly self-conscious, frequently interrupted by her brother Rohit, who is handling the camera. This scene reveals her struggle with the dissonance between her public persona and her private reality. Vidula's secret life adds another layer of complexity to her character. She engages in a clandestine affair as Kuchla, a provocative persona she adopts in a darkened cyber cafe, where she interacts with the disembodied voice of Swami Ananganath. This anonymous, digital relationship reflects her deep-seated guilt and confusion. When her secret is exposed, Vidula's reaction is one of hysterical rage, as she accuses her moral critics of sexual harassment to drive them away. This outburst underscores her internal conflict and the societal pressures that torment her. In Scene 2, Karnad further explores Vidula's struggles through her addiction to cyber sex and her visits to the internet cafe. Rohit's discussions about her behavior during the wedding preparations highlight the stark contrast between Vidula's public image and her private actions. Her dependence on a surrogate Swami, a flesh-and-blood stranger who helps her navigate her desires, demonstrates her desperation and the extent to which she is seeking to reconcile her conflicting emotions. Karnad's portrayal of Vidula's experiences sheds light on the broader issues of women's autonomy, societal expectations, and the struggles of living up to imposed standards. Through Vidula's journey, the play critiques the tension between traditional values and modern realities, illustrating the profound impact these pressures have on women's lives. In Wedding Album, Karnad delves into the intricate dynamics of female identity and desire through the character of Vidula. Hema, Vidula's conservative older sister, tries to prevent her from frequenting the internet cafe, where Vidula spends excessive time rather than focusing on wedding preparations. This tension highlights the conflict between traditional expectations and modern indulgences. Throughout the play, Karnad uses non-dual ascetic erotic imagery to explore themes of sexuality and identity. The narrative intertwines cross-cousin marriages and adolescent sexuality with intellectual and philosophical insights. These elements playfully shift between reality and fiction, blurring the lines and reflecting the complexity of Vidula's experiences. In Scene 6, Vidula's engagement in cyber sex with Swami Ananga Nath is depicted with explicit detail, revealing her involvement in a secret and provocative online persona. Vidula assumes the role of Kuchla, a Jezebel-like figure in cyberspace, mirroring her discontent with her real-life circumstances. Her cyber identity as Radhabai the cook's kept daughter, Savitri, serves as a means of exploring her erotic fantasies in a hidden, virtual space. Despite the explicit nature of her actions, Vidula does not view her participation in these online sexual games as degrading. Instead, she perceives this form of subjugation as a valid expression of her desires. Ultimately, she believes that her hidden erotic world can be reconciled with her traditional role as a wife, suggesting that these dual aspects of her identity can serve a higher purpose within the context of marriage. Karnad's portrayal of Vidula's secret life and her internal conflicts underscores the play's exploration of the intersection between traditional values and modern sexual expression, highlighting the complexities and contradictions faced by women in navigating their roles and desires. Wedding album reveals uncomfortable truths about the dynamics within Orthodox Indian families. The play highlights how traditional families often excessively protect unmarried daughters, shielding them from interactions with the opposite sex. Yet, these young women may still seek out erotic experiences through older male servants, relatives, or clandestine escapades online, adopting false identities to explore their desires. Karnad critiques the moral policing by self-appointed societal guardians who disregard legal and personal privacy boundaries. This hypocrisy is evident in how these individuals are lenient with those from their own caste while being harsh towards others. The play exposes the duplicity in their behavior, underscoring the arbitrary nature of their moral judgments. Women's emotional struggles and sacrifices are portrayed poignantly throughout the play, emphasizing their invisibility and lack of public recognition for domestic roles. Vidula, the central character, contrasts sharply with her mother, Mrs. Nadkami, who spends her life in the kitchen. Vidula, in anticipation of joining her husband Ashwin in the USA, claims to have given up eating fish, as a symbolic gesture of her commitment to her new life. This gesture underscores her willingness to endure hardships for her marriage. Despite Ashwin's apparent arrogance and incommunicativeness, Vidula's resolve to never divorce Ashwin, despite her siblings' concerns, reflects her determination to uphold her decision and submit to her new life. Vidula's private sacrifices and decisions, while significant to her, remain largely invisible to those around her. Her dedication is not fully acknowledged by her family, highlighting the private nature of her struggles and the broader invisibility of women's sacrifices in the public sphere. In contrast to Vidula, Pratibha is a modern, self-made Oriya woman who makes bold, personal choices, including marrying outside traditional norms. Pratibha's character represents a more contemporary and independent approach to life, illustrating a different path of self-determination and autonomy compared to Vidula's traditional sacrifices. In Wedding Album, Karnad contrasts the attitudes of pragmatic, westernized Indians with those of orthodox, tradition-bound individuals to highlight the generational and cultural divides. The bridegroom, Ashwin, represents the pragmatic and modern approach. He prefers a simple wedding without the traditional pomp and ceremony. In contrast, Vidula's mother clings to the conventional expectations of a grand wedding, complete with rituals and fanfare. She is eager to marry off her daughter quickly to a suitable match, an affluent man from the US who meets their social status. The mother insists on all the traditional rituals and a proper introduction between the bride and groom, even though they have already interacted through video and phone. The play illustrates this clash vividly in a dialogue between Vidula's mother and her brother Rohit. Mother: but how is that possible? It was all agreed. He has to meet Vidu, spend some time together. And only if they liked each other, only then, we were to go ahead with the wedding. I mean, that's what he proposed. If he comes that late, when is that going to happen? We have to print invitations, inform our relatives. I can't. Rohit: he has already said he doesn't want all that. No rituals, no wasteful tamasha, nothing. If he and